Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today we're ready to close out September, but before we turn into October, we must close with our regular monthly Q&A as we always do. You know the deal. We drop the Riddler picture online. You drop your questions down below, and then we go through and answer them. Now, of course, this goes quite long, so we'll have chapters, tools down below, but we want everyone to get a thorough answer. We're talking about everything from my favorite cards, the cards that I want next, the banks that I interact with the most. I'm sure there's some American Express questions in there as well. All that and more. So, of course, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, see, I grabbed the wrong phone. I'm in the middle of switching phones. I've got like 2 phones here, plus I got to transfer everything to my dad's phone. It's a long story. So I got like 3 phones. This is the right phone, though. And a quick note, everyone in this neighborhood is deciding to finish their summer projects today, so if there's a lot of noise coming through, I know my neighbor's like just making a new deck, because that's what manly men do. So can't do anything about that, but we got a deadline to meet, so just so you know. So let's get to it here. Leo checking in, good friend of the show. He says, hey RJ, did you finally find a girlfriend yet or not? He came through Detroit. I live like 30 minutes from Detroit, give or take, and he saw a bunch of ladies everywhere. So I'm sorry to disappoint, sir, but I am just so dedicated, so married to the game, you know, that I am here at my post watching the news just to make sure there's nothing that I need to relate to you guys. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it, but you will find this funny. So I was talking to a young lady at the gym. She did subscribe. She might watch. I don't know. I doubt it, though. But anyways, it was like right before we went to Luke's meetup in Vegas. And so on the way out the door in the morning from the gym, she's like, hey, have fun with credit cards. And I was like, great, thanks. And then when I was switching out my credit cards to go on this trip, my main wallet, I did send her a picture of my giant wallet and said, fun with credit cards. And, surprise, that did not get a date out of that. Probably because I didn't have any metal credit cards. That's probably what it was. Leo has all the metal credit cards. Probably I just had the plastic ones like a bum. So we'll work on it, though, sir. We'll work on it. Maybe. Sears here. Do you think the new bill affecting credit cards will pass in Congress? So, I think we're talking about the bill where like they would have to have a secondary payment network, so it had to be like a Visa card, and then Visa would have to have a backup network. It couldn't be Visa or American Express because Visa or MasterCard, sorry, because those are the 2 biggest networks, so you could go Visa/Amex or Visa/Discover, I guess, but Discover's very rarely a player. And the idea would be that merchants would now have there would be more flexibility in pricing and be more competitive, and merchants could choose the cheaper of the 2 networks on that card. No, I don't think it has a chance at all in passing. I think there's too much opposition, being the big banks, work pretty well with payment networks and their partners. I don't think they want to be bothered with this. I think this is one of those bills where you just kind of present it because you want to look good for the people who will probably vote for you, though we can't totally write it off because the Durbin, was it Senator, Congressman Durbin, whichever rank he is, he was the guy who ended up nerfing debit cards a while back, so it's not like we're just dealing with some chump who doesn't know what he's doing. He has a reputation for wreaking havoc in this niche. I'm sure he meant well, but no, I think the banks are too strong. I don't think it's going to happen. Even if it did happen, you're also going to have to find the market for it, right? Because you're going to need more players, more payment processing networks to appear, because it can't just be, I'm discounting Discover. It's not going to happen with them. But you're talking about Visa and MasterCard could right now feasibly would just go to American Express, and we have a Visa, American Express, a MasterCard, American Express, and everything probably stays the same, honestly. And plus, I really don't care if it passes because it's written up as like it's going to be savings for everyone. There's not savings for us, so I have no interest. And like, if you write a bill that actually benefits me, then maybe, but I don't think so. I don't see it happening, and I'm generally pro-government staying out of most things, regardless of which color tie they wear. So there's that. Matt Clausen here next up. With PNC copying Discover with the cashback match in year 1, you see other regional banks taking on the strategy. So we did a video on the second channel about this. I was very excited about this card, but apparently people did not agree with me in the comments, which is fine. We don't have to agree on everything. They were nice. They're just like, dude, settle down. It's not that big of a deal. The PNC Cash Rewards card in branch right now through I think early November has a basically a double cash where they match your cash back for the first year, and which means those like 4% gas category will be 8% up to like $8,000 in spend or something like that. They've done this before. It's not necessarily new. I mean, they haven't done it as long as Discover's done it, but it's not new. This is like, I think they've done it a time or two before. Unfortunately, they denied me for this card. You didn't apply in branch, which I told the guys, like, dude, I don't think I'm going to get approved because I've got so many cards, but, it sucks. So avenge me. I think it's a really good offer. No, I don't think other regionals are going to step up and do this because, again, it's not new. Discover's been doing this for a while. PNC's had this promo before. I mean, PNC's not even advertising it anywhere. Like, the reason I made a video is because at the time when I made the video, there was no promo offers about it. I was in a Fifth Third the other day closing a business account. I asked the young lady, hey, is there, any other promotional offers? They had nothing, not even for credit cards. So no, I don't really think other people are going to match this regional wise. I really don't think so. But this is a good offer. So if you buy a PNC, I definitely think you should go in and pick it up. It is a keeper card for me at least. Well, I wanted to keep it, but I didn't get it. All right, Nathan here. Nathan Cashback, that's a good username. ARJ, with how many subs you chase in both banking and credit cards, what's your rule for closing accounts versus product changing? For banking, I'm curious what you're up to this year in terms of the kickback. So, I mean, I should be better at closing credit cards that I'm not going to use anymore. Like, I have a few that I have the Wells Fargo Platinum card, Business Platinum card. Like, I could close that. I probably should. I just haven't for whatever reason. Most of the other cards, unless there's like a really good offer, like the Ink cards, right? Like I did earlier this year, close my Ink Unlimited so I could get back in line to get a new one. But most of them I end up like product changing. I product changed my Double Cash to a second Custom Cash. Most of my Chase cards get converted to Freedom cards. I did close some of the business ones. I closed the Ink Premier, but I should definitely be better at it. But I mean, the strategy would be just, I'll wait 1 year, of course, and then do it. But again, those are more enticing for the larger offers. I've got some U.S. Bank business cards I should close. So the answer is just be better at it at the 1 year mark. But again, you want to be careful because, by the time I thought about closing my U.S. Bank Triple Cash, I was trying to get the business leverage card. You don't want to close one and then apply for another one. It just like unnecessarily red flag potentially. So I wouldn't mess around with that. But really, you just want to be better at it. I mean, obviously, it's easier if there's annual fees, but most of my Chase personal cards I've product changed. I closed a Marriott card here and there, but I just need to be better at doing it for a year at a time. Then the bank accounts, I mean, if you start getting run on the bank at profitablecontent.com if you're interested in bank promotional offers. If everything paid out today, I'd hit my $10,000 mark, which is my goal, $10,000 in bank promotions every year. Obviously, everything's not going to pay out right this minute, so I don't know what the total is already paid out, but I usually just measure it. If I sign up for this on the calendar year, then I count it as, a 2023 total. So if everything paid out and goes well, then I would hit 10,000. I mean, 10,400 right now, I think, if it all paid out today. For closing those, I mean, if they do not specify when to close them, it's usually 90 days. I'll wait. Like Capital One paid you like instantly. I'll wait 90 days to close that for best practice. But a lot of them make you wait the full 90 days. It's like the promotional requirement. And as soon as they pay, like the Fifth Third I just talked about in the last one, they paid. I withdrew the money. Week later, I called. They said, no, you can't close it over the phone. So I went and branch, closed it immediately, get back in line for the churn. My strategy there, churn and burn, as they say. Stu, realistically, how long and how much money can someone, we basically just answered, someone doing bank bonuses? Does the well ever dry up? So, I mean, you can make a ton. You can make way more money than you can with credit cards. My goal, as I just said, was $10,000 per year. Now, how much money you make, it depends on a few different things. Now, yes, for a while I had larger bankrolls help, and you can just kind of move money around and get those larger deposits, larger payouts, like Huntington. Right now I'm doing Huntington, deposit $20,000 for 3 months, 60 days, and they'll give you $1,000. Not everyone has $20,000 laying around. I understand that. The Fifth Third one I just did was deposit $5,000 for a little bit, they give you $500. So some of that definitely does matter what your bankroll you're working with, what your other opportunity costs are. The other thing I would say is how aggressive do you want to play? Now, all these banks, or all these banks are FDIC insured, but when you get into, like, are you comfortable opening up banks you've never heard of before? Like a go-to bank or an Upgrade who's, backed by Green Dot Bank, of course, but it's not necessarily obvious when that happens. And then again, it's not necessarily a risk of not getting your money back. It's more so a risk of like how difficult are they going to be to deal with? It's going to be a hassle type deal. But if you're comfortable with that going into it, like I was just talking to him about with Gadget from Dr. Credit, he's a frequenter of commenting over there. We go back and forth in email sometimes about Boss Money. Like, would you feel comfortable opening up an account called Boss Money? It's silly. They've since changed the name to Elroy, which is the little kid from the Jetsons, if you want a throwback. But, whatever, I guess. A lot of people aren't. I don't mind. I'll open it up. Are you comfortable faking direct deposits, using Wise, using business account transfers, doing all that? The more aggressive you play, then yeah, you can make a lot of money. But if you really only want to stick to banks that you know, then it's going to be a little bit tougher. It ebbs and flows, right? The early parts of this year were very slow. But now, as we've gotten to the end of the year, the last quarter of the year, banks seem to want to be hitting their quotas because everyone wants to hit their goals. Comp time is in March. You want to get your goals. So they're pushing more offers out there. So it comes and goes, but you're just going to keep paying attention to it. So I would say go check out profitablecontent.com. You can filter by state. You can kind of get a feel for all those promotional offers. Again, I don't think most people are playing as aggressive as me, and that's fine. But there's definitely money to be made, even if you just stick to the easy ones. Again, Ally Bank, direct deposit, $1,500. Nets you $200. Capital One, 2 direct deposits of $250 each, nets you $350. Known banks, known commodities that pay. Why not? So there you go. Caesar here. We met in person. He's a great guy. He only trolled me about Amex a little bit, but he's a good guy, and he's had his own YouTube channel. It's in like Spanish, I think, so I don't know if the plug's going to help, but if you know Spanish or you want to learn Spanish, go check my guy out. But he is a nice guy, and it was nice to meet him in Vegas. So he says, since we all know that Amex Platinum is by far, okay, it was nice to meet him, but now I retract all of that. I should have just read the question first. Since we all know the Amex Platinum is the best travel card in the game, what card is the second best opinion? You think you can say the Amex Platinum card is the best travel card after they just did that Delta thing? Really? I would have agreed with you potentially, but now you're gonna tell me you're gonna cap my Delta Sky Club from unlimited to 6 a year, and you're the best card. I don't know if that holds up anymore. You would have had an argument, but now I don't know. But they do have until 2025 to make an adjustment and make it up to you. But I don't even think this stands. The next best one, I think there's some sleeper ones. Like, I still think the Hilton Aspire is good. I still think the Ritz-Carlton card, I'm not sure why they don't bring it back, but that is a good one. And then I'm still, for the time being, I still think the Venture X is the best all-around card for everyone. The Sapphire Reserve, you can still make a case for, but like it's tougher. The Venture X to me is still everything the Sapphire Reserve used to be before they hiked the annual fee. But I think you're going to go Venture X, you go Hilton Aspire. You could make a case for that Marriott Brilliant card as well, but I don't think it's better than the Ritz-Carlton one, though people would argue that. But like in your top tier, that would be it. I think that would be the wheelhouse. Of course, we've got to see what Citi does, but that would be it. But Amex, they didn't even win the tournament last year that we do here every year. I'd be interested to see how it goes for them this year. But thanks, bud. It was still okay meeting you now, just okay. Red Sox Nation here. Thoughts on your boy Miggy getting an $80 bottle of wine from the A's during his farewell tour, despite Miggy being a former alcoholic. Spencer Torkelson improved this year. Okay, so he's talking about baseball. Miguel Cabrera's final year, I do know that. And so usually when it's your final year, you go around the ballparks, the teams give you gifts. I didn't know he was a former alcoholic. It's so characteristic of the Oakland Athletics, though, because they're the money ball people. So all the money in the world they're saving on payroll and stuff, I don't know if they're good or not. You give them $80, like I feel like you probably do a little bit better. You probably just run up to the food court and get a better bottle, I would imagine. The $80 is just kind of funny. Should it have been more well thought out? Probably. I don't think we needed to make it into an issue. The gesture was there. I think you got to look at the intent. I don't think they intended to trip our guy up. I think it's more funny. There's an $80 bottle of wine coming from a major league ball club. I feel like we could have just done a little bit better than that. I know Spencer Torkelson's name. I couldn't even tell you what position he played, but they do talk about him on the evening news. So onward and upward. Good for the Tigers. If you ever come through, we'll go to a game or something, man. I don't know. All right, Jan here with a dog picture. Nice. Out of curiosity, do you still check pricing with transferable miles for trips that you need, regardless if you happen to have a card that can transfer points, or do you go straight with cash booking? Well, I check the kind of sort of. So, like, I'll check the price and do the cent per point because I'm supposed to do it as a professional talking about this, right? But ultimately, I kind of look at when do I need to be there and when is it convenient for me to get there, right? And if you want to get the maximum value, then you got to be much more flexible than that. So from that standpoint, yes, but no. Now, I know how I'm flying. I'm usually going Delta, so if I had miles to send, I would send them over there. Now, I did have a ton of Sky Miles at one point from my Amex cards that I moved over to Delta, and I didn't check around. I just kind of moved them, but I kind of wanted to just close the Amex accounts anyways. So no, for me, it's really more I'm going Delta because it's a hub here. It's easy to get a flight, direct flights, and I don't worry about it too much. I'll generally, if I don't have any Sky Miles, I'll go buy Delta gift cards at the 5X back from whatever the category is. So, I mean, I wouldn't say this is like a best strategy, but I just value the convenience. I just want to be there when I need to be there, and I don't want to play the guessing game. And I mean, even if the miles were bad, doesn't mean I'm going to go try to transfer them to United now. I'd rather just fly Delta because I know how it works. So that's me, again. It's kind of why we just talk about cash back here more than anything else, though we do have some decent travel stuff. All right, DJ October here. Do you change your name like every month? Like, so, or is it just because October's coming? I'm just curious. Or do you just really like October? Hey RJ, long time viewer, first time question. I should have been nicer to you your first time. Thank you, sir. I love a good roadmap video, but seldom do I see phasing out cards video. My question: do you plan on phasing out closing cards you currently have? I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, so the one you probably see a lot of like the annual fee cards, keep or cancel decisions, because those are the ones that are most pertinent to make the decision about are you keeping this card. So the Sapphire Preferred will probably be my next one. That's my only annual fee card right now, but we're still got like 8 months left before I make that decision. The ink cards, so far my strategy's been around the ink cards really to get back in line for the intro offers on those, and same with the Sapphire. Again, I should probably close more accounts just so I can get back in line for the intro offers. But my phasing out, my next roadmap would probably be to go back to City, get a City Rewards Plus and a Premier over time, and then be able to product change them into more custom caches. That's more beneficial to me. That would, again, be phasing out cards, to get back in line. But I've really been targeting a lot of keeper cards, a lot of business cards to pay for expenses for intro offers. Those generally aren't keeper cards. But I mean, my last few cards have been the Amazon Prime card, keeper, Bank of America Customized Cash, Bank of America Unlimited Cash. I'm being Platinum Honors. Those are keeper cards. So I've really been spending a lot of time building out my deck to get 4 and 5% back on everything. So I don't personally have like a huge roadmap of closing cards unless it was for those offers, which I think I talked about. I did close an Ink card, Ink Unlimited, just so I could get the offer again. I switched my Freedom Unlimited to a Freedom Flex again, but I didn't end up getting another Freedom Unlimited. So I have strategies like that where I know it's like beneficial to do it, and then I should probably be better about it on the business account side as well, so you can get back in line for these things. But generally, roadmaps, to your point, are focused on just building out your strong setups. Because for me, a lot of those business cards, I pick those up when I have large expenses coming up. So I like to keep them in the back of my mind, know which cards I haven't gotten yet. But then like the personal smaller ones, I'm going more for keeper cards than actually just the intro offers, if that makes sense. So I could be better about it. Maybe after we do the what's in your wallet video, I'll do an all-inclusive roadmap, like go through every single card, like what your plans are for. I could do something like that maybe. All right, Corey here. Just heard that Citi is now blocking product changes to additional custom caches. I didn't watch it because it was like an hour long, but somebody had a video and it was called like Citi limiting custom caches. And I Googled it, and it does read as if you're only supposed to have one custom cache. But I just called in maybe 2-3 weeks ago and product changed my double cash to a second custom cash with no issue. They just put you on hold, they verify, then they mailed it to me. Funny enough, that card got lost in the mail and they had to send me another one. But as far as I know, it works. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, to this day, I'm still surprised that Chase allows you to have so many Freedom cards. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I can't comment. All I can say is my data point is I did it a month ago and it worked no problem. But I can see them wanting to limit it in the future. But for right now, I haven't heard anything. So I mean, if you got a link to a Reddit thread or something, drop it down below and I'll take a look. But I haven't heard anything myself. And again, like a month ago, it did work for me. So let's hope it doesn't go away because that's basically my city strategy, just more custom cash. All right, Abduali here. He says, RJ, I think we all know you had a lot of fun at the Vegas meetup. I mean, my interaction with Caesar was questionable at best, but sure, other than that, it's fine. Is there an option of you showing up for the next one? Dude, I don't like, you know how much work it took me to commit to this in that last one? I really don't like committing to things, especially a year in advance, but he'll be there. So, I mean, well, there you go, man. There's your showstopper right there. No, I will go. I will go again. I think it was nice to put faces with names because you remember, to me, everyone's just their avatar, right? So like, there's a guy here called Doc, and his avatar is like Napoleon Dynamite. To me, he's just Napoleon Dynamite in the real world. So no, it was nice to meet everybody in person, and if people really they're choosing. It's Vegas, so it's not that hard to get people to show up. But if people are still voting or using their money and their time to come to a thing to say hello, the least you could do is show up. So yes, if Luke does another one, I mean, I'm pretty sure there'll be another one. I'll speak for the guy, but yes, there's another one. I think you can put me down as a strong maybe. Just couldn't quite commit in the end. All right, Michael Keaton, nice. The best, Michael Keaton. How's that Bank of America setup coming along? Pretty good. Thanks for asking. So I did make it to Platinum Honor status a while back. I did get my IRA bonus and I got my checking offer bonus. So combined, I think that was $500 between bonuses. I did get my unlimited cash card, the gray one, so that's 2.62 back. That's what prompted the Bank of America, the City Double Cash product change to the second custom cash because I don't need a 2% card anymore. I applied and got the customized cash card, the red one. They initially denied me, and I called them, and they're like, hey, there's supposed to be an honors phone number. So I called it. They were nice, but no, we don't have recon, go away. Then a letter came in the mail. They're like, hey, call us. I called them. They just wanted to verify it was me. There was easier ways to do this, and they approved me because they do allow you to be approved for 2 cards in the same month. So one hard pull, pretty good. And then now I need to wait probably until January to get the Susan G. Komen card, which is another version of the customized cash card. Bank of America is like a 2-3-4 rule, so 2 cards in 2 months, 3 cards in 4 months. So clearly I've got to wait. They also, if you're a current customer, just like a regular checking account, they have a 7 and 12 rule, so 7 new accounts total within 12 months. I'm pushing right up against that, so I really need to chill out on personal cards so I can get that last card. And those are the only Bank of America cards I want. Bank of America setup will be complete. It's been great having the customized cash card. It's a quality of life for me because even like buying the phone case, I always put my phone in a case. It is black, by the way, because this is the new one. But just buying it off of OtterBox, obviously not sponsored. I shouldn't have to say that, but not sponsored. I don't have to go figure out how to get gift cards anymore. I can just, bam, set it to online shopping and good. So quality of life card for me. Excuse me, very happy to have it. So we'll get the Susan G. Komen and we'll be off and running and it will be good. Next up, do you prefer vanilla or chocolate ice cream? I mean, I can't tell you last time I've eaten ice cream. Sometimes I used to give it out at work and I think I do it then, but I mean, I'll go chocolate. I guess vanilla's fine, right? But like you can only eat like a few bites of it and like, all right, I'm good. But chocolate's decent. I mean, the obvious one is like if you eat the Dairy Queen when they like combine the thing, both flavors. But I'll go chocolate. I mean, if I did like a favorite one, I think it's like, I did like Oreo ice cream, like basically just like smashed up Oreos. I think that would be the way to go. But if you're giving me just with choices, it's definitely got to be chocolate. I think that's definitely the way to go out of those two for sure. Vanilla's, it's really hard to have a strong opinion about vanilla. Like it's fine, right? Like if you're like, here's vanilla ice cream, I'm like, all right, cool. But it's ever hard to have because that's where vanilla and bland comes from. So I'll go chocolate for that one. JP Buffett here. What is the origin of using the Riddler when asking for a Q&A? So we do throw the Riddler up. I think it was because he always says, riddle me this, Batman, and I thought it was kind of funny. And then like 2 years later, here we are. I think I was going to use a picture of something like of Alex Trebek, but then it was like right around where he announced like he was sick. And before, unfortunately passed away, the long time host of Jeopardy. So I was like, that's probably in poor taste. So I'll go with the Riddler because he says, riddle me this. I thought if I didn't put a picture there, that I didn't think anyone would notice it. And the hilarious part of this is now these videos go an hour, and I genuinely enjoy answering people's questions. I have a good time. Obviously, they're not scripted, but I didn't think anyone would notice it, so I needed a picture. Riddle me this, Batman. I think it worked, but those original videos were probably only a handful of questions. Like I think they were like 10, 20 minutes maybe. Now we're like at an hour. Because I'll just if you put it in here, I'll answer it as you can see, which I don't know if that's good or not, but that's the origin. It was gonna be Mr. Trebek. I used to really like Jeopardy. And then, it just seemed like poor timing. Now I guess I could switch to him in honor of him, but now we're just going with the Riddler, so we're just riddle me this. I think that's really it. I wish there was a better story, but that's the answer. Ballin' here became 424 on the 1st of this month. Applied for the ink cash, and a week later, the 90K sub boasted. Chase said no to matching that. Okay, so let me pause there. In my Discord group, we've been talking about this through channels for channel members. Obviously, if you're interested, just click the join button down below. It'll give you a whole spiel about it, but you can make a lot of money if you do it. People did have success getting them to match, either by secured message or phoning in. Sometimes you just got to hang up and try again. Hookah as it's called. Hang up, call again. But I know people who have had success getting them to match it. If you've already got documentation in the system to like secured message, then I would definitely just call them and see, I'm like, hey man, my friend called in, they said to do it for him, like why is this different for me? Just, something like that. But it has been done before, recently, this recent launch. Have more spend to do. Would you recommend pulling the trigger on the 90K Capital One Venture X going around, or seeing what else Chase will have for later? Depending on what your ink situation is like, if you can get this one matched and you have the ink cash, like if you don't have the ink, you're 424. So I would say you got the ink cash. If you don't have the ink unlimited, and by the time this is out, it'll be almost 30 days, so you should be okay to get an Ink Unlimited card, which is another 90K if you don't have one. Or if not, I would then look at the Ink Preferred, because they still have their intro spend offer cut in half, where it's usually $15,000 in spend, and now it's down to $8,000. I think that would be the permanent spend requirement for that card, but I can't say for sure. I don't know. But I would maximize your time under 524, especially when they're throwing around these $900 offers, $1,000 offers. I definitely got 2 ink cards within 30 days. You should be okay. And definitely follow up, call them, because you should be able to get a 90K match. If you need a link, we've got them on profitfulcontent.com for you. If you don't have someone with a referral already. But I would do that. Venture X at 90 is definitely nice. But again, if you've got the spend, you say you have more spend to do, if you really want the Venture X, and I still say it's one more Chase card, and then jump over to the Venture X. Also, if you go to Profitable Content or you just ask me, we have a fair amount of offers, bank promotion offers that will allow credit card funding. Unify is one that does like 4K, US Bank, business and personal, and then Keypoint as well, all on ProfitableContent.com. So you should be able to hit a few of these depending on how aggressive you want to play. But that's how I would do it. Just maximize your time under there as long as you can, unless there's like a direct need for a Venture X. They also have the Venture X Business, but Capital One does report some of those. I don't know if they report the Venture X Business to personal. We know they do it with some of the other business cards. I would assume it follows suit, but yeah, I don't know. The card hasn't been widely available long enough yet for us to know. But those are some of your options as I see it. Mr. D, I'm not even gonna try it. I read it too fast, and I thought it was gonna be like a Majin Buu type thing, and I was wrong. So, long one. Several questions. Feel free to answer whichever one you want. If I want to product change, downgrade a credit card, do I need to call the issuer or do this? Can I do this myself? You need to call them for whatever reason. I think it's to make it more difficult. Even like Chase, even through secured message, they wouldn't do it. They said call in because we need to verify. We need to review your account, which you can absolutely do through secure message, but call them. Just tell them what you're going to want to do is the banker or customer service. They don't like, I wouldn't tell them just in this example, Freedom Flex. I would say the card ending in 0000, I want to product change to the new product, right? That's how they refer to cards. They look at the last four. So just, count 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to change it to this. They should put you on hold, come back, say, yep. They're going to read you the list of rules. You're going to say, okay. They're going to mail you a new card and you'll be good to go. But just phone in. It's really not that bad. Number 2, this is more related to your other channel, but maybe you'll answer it. When I try to join credit unions that are not in my area, usually via ACC, I always get a call asking how I heard about the credit union and why I want to join. What do you say to this? I don't want to say I'm here for the welcome bonus. I usually say, hey, I saw a promotional offer somewhere, or I was in a financial Facebook group and it was recommended to me. I don't even have Facebook. I have a burner account, but I don't have I'm not on Facebook. But I say I found a promotional offer somewhere like that. And as far as why I want to join, usually I say I'm just so sick and tired of X big bank. So you're like, dude, I'm so sick and tired of Chase charging me so many fees. I can't maintain this account anymore. Or you can say with all the rates, continuing to increase, I'm shopping around trying to find the best bank products. That's kind of what I've been doing. I'm just tired of this. And so, hey, since I need a new account, you're offering a promotion offer. It's a great time to try a new account and, pick up a few dollars to do so. That's usually more than enough, honestly, because again, that's the intent of the promotional offer is to elicit that exact response. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. They just find it weird that you were probably nowhere near this credit union and you want to join them, but that's usually enough. They usually don't ask much more past that. They really just need to document a reason for you doing it. Number 3, do any cashback debit cards still work to pay credit card bills via PayPal Bill Pay? I know a guy who would know the answer to this in the channel memberships group. They're slowly going away. Discover hasn't worked in a while. I think Base Lane, I think they slowed down. Upgrade hasn't worked in a while. You're getting to the obscure ones now, but the major ones, they're starting to catch on and block this. I don't know any off the top of my head. I know someone who does. They chime in down below. If anyone does know any runs left, you can feel free to let us know. But they are starting to go away. How can I get my wife to be a player too in this game? I want to refer you back to the first question I answered about the girlfriend and sending her picture of my card wallet. I don't know. The people, in all seriousness, the people I talk to, they basically do this for their player too, right? So I'm going to assume player 2 here means wife. If she's just a girlfriend, then it might be a little bit, I don't know, depending on how long you've been dating. Oh, no, you said it, but she's uncomfortable using business cards for personal expenses. It's not unethical, but that's fine. Oh, marital advice. If I read the whole thing, and you did wink, so apparently you get it. I should just read the question. Most people I talk to with player 2s, they do this for them, which means they're setting it up, they're applying, they're managing everything. The only thing that they'll really run into an issue is when, you have to call the bank when there's an issue or they don't pay because then that other person's phone number is registered and that person doesn't want to talk to them. I have a really good friend of the channel who I actually talked to off air, and that's what he does with his wife. He basically just runs it for her. Which you're married, everything else about each other, so I think it's fine. But I would assume that is the best way. If she doesn't want business cards, then so be it. It would be nice, but I don't know how you're going to convince her. They don't care. I can tell you for a fact they don't care what you buy with them, but, you've got so much room anyways to just start. It would be nice if you could get into business cards because, again, the Chase Ink cards. But if you could just start off with bank promotions and regular offers, I think that'd be good and ease her into it, show her the results of the money. Next time you go out, you go on vacation or something, say this was all thanks to these points, and then there you go. Now but you got to show people that it works. Most people don't even believe this is a real thing, so I would do that. But be prepared to manage it all. You need to make it as easy as possible for her, because the moment there's any, not impact but inconvenience to her, she's probably going to be out. Would be my guess, and then probably also prep her for the tax documents and things like that will be coming. But if you're filing jointly, it's probably fine. So there you go. We'll just make a dating app for credit card people. Good luck. Report back. Spencer Johnson, good friend of the show. I met him out in Vegas. He's a good dude. What are the next 3 credit cards you plan to apply for? Easy. So the Bank of America Susan G. Komen card. Gotta wait for that one. That's a keeper card for me. I can't do any more. I'm going to be out. I picked up a lot of cards this past quarter. But after that, I think we had the question about Citi. If the custom cash thing doesn't end up being true and you can still do it, then I'm going back to Citi after that for a Rewards Plus and a Premier whenever the Premier 80K comes back, simply to get more custom cash cards. Those would be my next 3. When a Bank of America for sure, the Citi ones, Rewards Plus, I don't think the offer really matters much. It's $200. The highest offer ever is $250, I think. I don't care about $50. That's fine. But Premier, I'd be waiting for 80K. After that, we'd have to see. But those would be my next 3 cards to further build out the 5X everything setup. So that's how I'm going. I'm going to try to stay strong and not apply for anything else till January, personal-wise. Business is fine, but personal-wise. Edward here. The problem is these letters are so small, they just run into each other. When you glance at it, people are going to think I can't read. Hey RG, just about closing on a house. Congratulations for the first time. Any tips on getting credit card points for the mortgage payments, PayPal? No, not really. There's not really a good way to do it. You can't really plastic stop taking payments for paying debt. The best way you generate points with mortgages, aside from repairs and things like that, is for homeowners insurance and property tax. And if you're just buying the house, then I assume you're still going to be in escrow, where you pay the portion of those every month to the bank, which is fine. But once you get to that 80% loan to value ratio, I would definitely call and ask them to remove your account from escrow, which makes you responsible for the taxes and insurance. But, homeowners insurance is very easy to pay with a credit card. There's really no processing fee to deal with. Property tax is a little bit different. There's usually a processing fee. Mine is one is 2.6, one is 2.8, but you can still do it going after an intro offer, and you'll usually have a 1x or 1.5x multiplier to lower that a little bit, but that's really it. I don't know of any ways to pay with a credit card. They really don't want you to do it. There are other services out there that you could try, to basically just send a check. I don't know if that actually works. So unfortunately, I don't have anything. Mortgage payments just come directly out of my bank account. But the future, when you can do mortgages and taxes and homeowners insurance, I think that's the easiest way, and along with unfortunate repairs and upgrades and things like that. But congratulations on the house. Sorry to be a little bit of a killjoy. Trust me, if there was a loophole, this is kind of why I wanted the Rocket. I hope the Rocket mortgage card would have been better. A disclaimer: I used to work there, but I wanted them to make the card so that you could use the points to pay towards your principal balance, which you can't do, unfortunately, which is what everyone would want to do. So even the mortgage company has stayed away from that. They wouldn't cross that line. So unfortunate, but eventually I think we'll get there, but nothing that comes to mind. But if I'm missing something, of course, let me know down below. Next up, RJ, what are your 3 credit card issuers you deal with? Oh, there's many more than 3. I might be wrong, but you're not a fan of Amex from a few videos I've seen. You're not wrong at all. So, I've got cards, active cards with Chase, Bank of America, American Express, Huntington, Wells Fargo, Citi, US Bank. I think those are it. There's some oddballs in there like Divvy. But, the 3 I deal with the most are probably going to be Chase, Citi, and right now Bank of America. But I've got cards from all of those. I think I just picked up the autograph card when they had the $300 offer back through Credit Karma. Again, shout out to the channel members who found that offer and I applied instantly. American Express, I have the Blue Business Cash as my legitimate LLC business card. I'll keep this brief because everyone's heard this rant before. I'm just not a personal fan of American Express's business model. Like the Platinum card, I had it. There was a time where I really wanted it, but I just don't like how the credits are issued, but that's more the vendors than American Express. They're expensive, so I'm just not really a fan of their cards and their product too much. I'll get more of their cards for the money because why not? But I've just never really been a fan too much. I think they're overly expensive. I don't think they skimp out on the core value. Even their cashback cards are limited. They cap cards like the Blue Business Plus. What is the dark blue one that everyone loves for groceries? The $95 annual fee. They cap the 6X category. They cap cards with 3X categories. It just seems like a lot. So I'm really not that much of a fan. I like to play a lot more fast and loose, and Chase allows me to do that with gift cards and having multiple freedoms. Citi, at least so far, has allowed me to do that. Amex I just find a little more difficult. So I do have them for my business account, but I don't do much more with them than that. But yeah, I've got cards from just for all the majors at least. Leprechaun here. Christmas will soon be here, and the wee ones have such demands. Krampus is now a fear. Can I tell the retailers to pound sand? Sure, tell them to pound away, man. I don't know what to do with this one, but yes, you can tell them. Luke's Points and Miles, speaking of Mr. Vegas himself, lately I've noticed several credit unions issuing cards with 5% cashback categories, including gas, groceries, rotating categories. Do you plan on acquiring any of these? Since Chase cards, consumer cards are so terrible, I mean, easy, shots fired. I think with Redstone was one I saw. I remember that came out. There's something, sometimes their points are a little bit weird, like the math doesn't exactly add up on their points, but I'm not at the moment. I'm going to stick to my, the original cards I just told Spencer that I'm going to go after, but at some point, I could maybe see I could probably see adding them if there was like if I already got in under like a credit card or a bank promotion with them, potentially. But I mean, for me, the thing is, if they're easy to redeem points, like there's no weird caps, like I gotta, dump them in. Well, I guess you'd have to have a member shares account if you were with a credit union. So they're not on my radar at this moment. The only one that comes to mind is actually the Redstone one. So I'd be interested to see what else is out there, newer, but now not at the moment. But just because I've kind of got my roadmap set up. But I was going through it, and at some point, like if you're just doing cash back, you do kind of run out of intro offers. So I'm sure we can add some to the list for sure. It's just his way of telling me that I should buy the next round when we go to Vegas. Chris explores the world. Do you think other airlines will push status match programs to steal loyal flyers away from Delta? No, man, I think they'll just follow suit and just do what Delta did, honestly. Once the biggest guy does it in the room, it makes it easier for you to go back and revamp and maybe have higher spend requirements. It's possible we see some type of promotions, but I mean, the airlines, they don't really seem, to me, I don't really see them kind of competing at one another, really. Besides, like the Delta fares are usually higher than the other fares by quite a bit, from what I understand. Anyway, so I think they might do something to make their presence known again and make their presence known that they're an option, perhaps, because I think a lot of times we just forget other airlines or other companies exist. But status matching or bringing over status, I think it would be a neat idea. I mean, you just have to be careful not to offend your core group already with overcrowding status. I think they should consider it, probably definitely closer to the time of launch. Like, hey, if you're leaving Delta. I guess I don't know how they guarantee the person's leaving Delta, but you could do it like a hotel status match, I guess. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it's a good idea. I don't think any of them are that innovative to do it. I think they should at least remind people that they exist. Because a lot of times, like if you're here in DTW, everyone else is in another terminal. So it's easy for people to think it's only Delta flies out of here because it's a whole other terminal. You can't walk to that terminal. You got to literally leave the airport, take an actual shuttle like a van to get to the other one. So I think it's actually a good idea. I think they should consider it because those people are still spenders because they've spent silver, goldish. But I don't think they're going to be that creative, unfortunately. Terrell Moss here. RJ, my goal is to 5x everything but cashback setup, what I need to cover each category. I think we need to have a video on this. I'll run through it really quickly. I mean, you're going to have to rely heavily on category cards. But, I've got 4 Freedom cards, more custom cash cards you can get. Huntington Business Voice is always a good card. It's a 4X back, choose your own category. US Bank Cash Plus, another good one. That PNC card we talked about earlier, another 4% card, very good. Discover cards, you can throw those in the mix as well, but it ends up being a lot of category cards. I'll say Amazon, if you like Amazon. I love Amazon, so Amazon Prime card is going to be in the mix as well. Those AAA cards as well, there's 2. I think they're issued by Commonwealth Bank. They both have 5% categories on them. But you're going to have to do a lot of that. Again, I'm kind of cheating because I got that Bank of America status. That gives me 2 cards that are 5 1/4. Things like that, but which is not actually that hard to do if you've been working for quite some time. You work for like 5-7 years, you can get $100,000 in a retirement account and roll it over when you move jobs. It's not actually that hard, as hard as it sounds to do. A lot of times it comes off as you just literally have $100,000 sitting in the bank, which is not entirely accurate. But those are the cards you're going to have to go after, right? You could also do the Max Cash Rewards cards, kind of like Luke mentioned earlier. A lot of those credit unions and small regional banks have those Max Cash Rewards, which are carbon copies of the Cash Plus card from US Bank, so you could do something like that. But that's really it. The idea is you want to list out your top spend categories and kind of go through and match up cards with them. Better dedicated. I like to find dedicated cards that you can get. It makes things a lot easier. US Bank Altitude Go comes to mind. It's a 4X card. So you can get a good base of 4X and kind of supplement back and forth with the category cards and the custom caches and things like that. But that's really what you're going to have to do to make it happen. So lay out your categories, figure out where you spend the most at, kind of focus there, finding a card that matches. I'll try to find that video and link it down below, but that's basically what I'm trying to do as well, sir. All right, 2 more to go here. What's the best insight into how money works that you've learned? That's an interesting question because you can kind of take it a lot of different ways. I think it almost becomes more of like how you think about money, and you think about, I think we did a video on this, like the classic. This will be an easy example, but you can kind of extrapolate it out, right? So I think you did a video one time where I had this car loan on the Cadillac that Leo mentioned a while back, 2017 ATS. I think I was like the 3rd owner, bought it used, but at the time, they'd give him like a 0.9% interest rate, right? They can't do that anymore, but at the time, they did. And, the time, just a simple Ally savings account was almost like 4%, 3.5%, 4%, something like that. Kind of where they're at right now. And so it's obvious that, obviously you could, I had the cash to pay off the car, but the cash it's almost better served in that account because, again, you're making enough to cover the interest financing on that car each month and then some. So basically you've got the car, freeze the wrong word, but you've got it, basically for no interest because you've got another item, another asset, whatever you want to call it, covering the interest. So when I think about how can money work, I think money is best looked at as a tool to, get something you want or to offset cost, right? If I want to buy this thing, okay, well, what can I do to help pay for that? And that very basic example, it's again almost like back to the renting, right, or real estate, right? You can buy a house, cool. Now, again, obviously maybe you're not going to live there, but okay, well, the interest rate can be crazy, property taxes can be crazy, but you're almost offsetting it with a renter or rental contract. So now you have someone fully paying for that asset. And yes, you do have to put some of your own money down, 20% on an investment property, ensure there's, mortgage costs and things like that. But you've used another financial tool to pay for that. So you're using the bank's money to get the house mostly, right? You're still, again, you're putting in equity. So it's not that bad. And then you're offsetting those costs with the rental. Then when you start looking at money like that, how can I use one thing to offset another one? Credit cards are a great example of it in the most basic world. You want to buy this phone? Well, you can go and get a brand new credit card, $1,000 sign up offer for spending it. Great, and you've offset it by $200. Things like that. I would try to look at it like that. How can you make your money work for you? How can you pit 2 financial products against one another to help offset? Because in a lot of these scenarios, the bank's going to win, the store's going to win. The only thing is up to you is how much are you going to win by. Yes, it's kind of a win because you got the phone you wanted, sure, but You can simply go and get another financial product, help offset that, still get the thing you want, and not pay nearly as much. Bank promotions, again, the same way. So I think when you start to look at it for those basic examples, you can kind of extrapolate it out, and then that's when people even get into investing in the market and things like that. But I think that's it. Financial product, you're just trying to find one financial product. If I had to summarize it, I kind of stumbled my way to the answer. But you're trying to set one financial product up against another one to try to offset those costs as much as possible, so you still get your thing. And everyone almost kind of wins in this scenario to a degree, but I think that's, for me, a good lesson on how money works. I hope that's what you meant by your question. If it's not, let me know. Jimmy James, last one, rounding out the questions here. When are you coming out with your no money down real estate investing course? I mean, if you want to own 20 properties by the time you're 22 years old, then click the link down below and just pay 18 installments of $19.99. I love the gurus, man. I love them because they're just ridiculous. And the way we talk about real estate investing is insane. I have 2 houses. By no means am I a real estate mogul. They never talk about the downside. I've paid almost $20,000 in just fixing things this year in one of them and have an unfinished project at the other one as a result of having paid $20,000 in different fixes and repairs and upgrades and such. So I don't understand why everyone thinks they need a course. Everyone thinks they're so special and what they have to say is so special. It's really hard to charge for stuff on the internet because you can find someone saying basically the same thing for free. I'm not saying those people necessarily don't know what to talk about, but it's like, I don't know, man, content is all free. And, we've been doing, the most part, it all works the same, right? I mean, there's not like this crazy, hack that we've never found out about and no one knows about. So if I think of the course, I'll let you know. No money down real estate would be great. Leverage 18 HELOCs and just get crazy with it. Why not? So maybe that'll be the next level of my channel memberships. So anyways, guys, there you go. We finished under an hour, but we did go long. So that is our Q&A for this month. Of course, thank you so much for writing in. If you liked it, consider dropping me a thumbs up down below. Or if you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, the channel's blog, we have the latest news stories. We have bank promotions that we talked about a lot. Of course, we have credit card offers as well, like those ink offers we mentioned as well. Again, that's why we call it profitable content. Already asked you guys a question, so of course you want follow-ups, definitely let me know down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you very soon in the next one.